Hey everybody, KC here. So on Thursday morning, as I was about to take a long weekend, the story broke that Amazon was acquiring One Medical, which has basically medical clinics and telehealth facilities all over the country, for $3.9 billion, making it the third largest acquisition that Amazon has made since it came into existence, behind only Whole Foods and MGM. And this to me was really, really interesting. Now, we'll have a story below, which has some of the analysis from some of the different magazines, newspapers, and websites out there who looked at the deal. But I have to tell you, I think it's fascinating. And I think what's really, really interesting about it is I don't think it's going to be long before Amazon is basically going to make One Health part of Prime. Why not? Make it part of Prime membership. It would instantly make One Health more valuable, and it would instantly make Prime more valuable. And as we all know, the more people Amazon can get into Prime, the better they are, because people who are part of Prime spend more money on Amazon, right? If their goal is to create a system that it is irresponsible not to be part of, and a system that is inextricably linked into our various parts of our lives, boy, getting into healthcare is at this level is one way to do that. Now, there'll be naysayers, there'll be people concerned about privacy, and I get that, and all that has to be taken seriously. But still, it is a major move in a direction that gives Amazon enormous market power. And I can't even imagine regulators are gonna be able to fight it and say they can't do it, because there's so much competition in healthcare. Then the question becomes, okay, what does Apple do? Okay, they've got the Apple Watch, and they've clearly wanted to make a play in healthcare. What do they do? Who do they create an alliance with? Who do they acquire? What does Walmart do? What does CVS do? What does Walgreens do? What does Target do? They've already got a relationship with CVS. Is some additional kind of mashup there going to make a lot of sense? And by the way, don't forget, okay, you've got Amazon, they've got One Health, well, they've also got Whole Foods, and they've got PillPack. They start to be able to put pieces together in a way that almost nobody else is able to do. Listen, one of the things we've always talked about here on Morning Newsbeat is the degree to which some companies play checkers, and some companies, and I would always put Amazon as part of this list, some companies play chess. Well, I think Amazon has just upped the game, and they're now playing a kind of three-dimensional chess. They're not looking at it as a linear market. They're looking at various different levels, and they're going to be connecting the dots in really interesting ways. And I keep thinking to myself that one of the ways that companies are going to be able to compete with this stuff is by creating alliances with some of the companies that we've talked about here over the last few months on Morning Newsbeat. Talk about Jumpstart investors, right? They're trying to create systems where food retailers are working with hospitals to make sure that when people are discharged from hospitals after they've had procedures, they're able to eat well, right? They're able to put grocers into the system to help people eat in a nourishing way that helps whatever their health condition happens to be. We've talked as part of that, you could work with companies like Sifter, which actually allow people both online and in the store, okay, what products should I be buying based on either my medical needs or my health preferences? You can work with companies like Replenium, right? That provide for automatic replenishment at the consumer level. The companies that start to put these pieces together and see it in a three-dimensional chess sort of way, I think are the ones that are going to be ahead of the game going forward. Now, do I think everybody has to do this? No, I don't think everybody has to do it. And I certainly don't think everybody's going to do this. But here's the deal. If you're a retailer and you're thinking, well, the way I'm going to get people coming into my store is this week I'm going to have 10 cents off a 12-pack of Diet Coke, and maybe I'm going to have 50 or 75 cents off a pound of ground beef. I don't think that's a long-term strategy. I think that's a good tactic. It works now. We've got inflation. Money's tough, a little tighter than it was not that long ago. But that's only a tactic to deal with the moment. You've got to think strategically. You've got to think in terms of this three-dimensional chess metaphor. How am I going to connect with my customers in ways that are going to bind us together, create a kind of intimacy, create a relationship that is sustainable going forward? If you don't look at these opportunities, if you don't look at these various possibilities and say, how can I make 1 + 1 + 1 = 5 or 6 or 7? then I don't think actually in the long term you really stand much of a chance of competing in a market where things are changing rapidly. Anyway, that's what's on my mind this morning. And as always, I want to hear what's on your mind.